and showing up on time.
Yes.
Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you all for joining this All in Eats work group convening. And we deeply appreciate you attending this meeting. We hope that your new year has been restful and restorative, despite the ups and downs of only being really 1 week in. And much of the stuff that we're seeing in our democracy. So thank you again for joining us. And today we're going to continue to work through our breakouts and identifying reflections, especially around strategizing in immediate and emergent needs and future needs that we see within the food system. We're hopeful to identify opportunities for an equitable path into securing our food economy and generating healthier foods and job opportunities and widespread job opportunities within the food system that leads and creates well-being. We'll have a few agenda items. Our first agenda item, of course, is our community share. And in a moment, I'm going to turn it over to Hillary to introduce Patty. And in addition to our breakout groups, we'll have a conversation around the logo, an update around the Farmer Collective, and some initial discussion around the vision, mission, and then wrap up our call. Again, so just happy to have everyone here. Thank you all again for showing up and for everything you do within the community when it comes to our food system. At this point, I'll turn it over to Hillary to introduce Patty.
Thanks, Larissa. My name is Hillary Bass. I work for the Sheriff's Office, and through our Deputy Sheriff's Activities League and Dig Deep Farms, we have had the honor and, luxury of partnering really closely with Patty Iyer from Daily Bowl. Early on, when we were working on building out some of the additional infrastructure for the food economy, we had started with Dig Deep Farms with the production of produce, and then getting this food hub built, which took 9 years or so, and then partnering closely with Supervisor Chan and All In to acquire some refrigerated vans to add to the infrastructure to support food recovery and distribution. And not knowing anything about food recovery, we were introduced to Patty pretty early on and realized that I think his name should actually be the godfather of food recovery. So that is how I'm referring to him, and I think that he should generally be referred to writ large. We're going to turn it over to him to talk a little bit about what he's been doing and a bit more about how we're working together to scale this whole thing across the county. Take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you, Hillary. Once she said that, I don't think there's any reason for me to talk now, is there? Okay. But as I was saying to Mary Ruth, I guess you all are all in need of a siesta time, so my voice can put you all to sleep. But my name is Patty. I started Daily Bowl, food rescue nonprofit, in 2016, about 4-5. Actually, we finished 5 years in June. It was very simple. It was like, there's a lot of food being wasted, and then, what do we do with it? And then you noticed cultural issues cropping up in terms of, we need X type of food or Y type of food and everything. And I had nothing better to do in my life at that particular point of time. So I said, let's start digging around. And we started this, and I really didn't know much about what I was going to do. And, we were recovering 10 pounds a week or at 100 pounds a month, and we were really happy. And then you started digging, and there's only so much we could do, and we started exploring, and that's how Decile came into the picture. Started collaborating with them, and what we have done really is we work with a network of donors, restaurant distributors, farmers markets, produce farmers, ethnic grocery stores, and we recover their excess. The politically correct term would now be recovering their available food, and we distribute it across to a lot of agencies within the county. We really started just between industrial and Auto Mall on 880, and now we have spread all across the county. Shelter in place, March 17th actually, has been really good to us, which is a very sad thing to say, because it enabled us to scale the food rescue operations and the food distribution operations, because most of the restaurants were closing, and there's a huge glut of inventory in the marketplace. And very quickly we had to adapt, we had to pivot, we had to figure out how to help the donors and how to help the receiving agencies. And I have to say, I really have to say, if it weren't for the collaboration with DSAL, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. Okay, it's been wonderful. We work very closely with them, and in a very loose form, we have decided Highway 238 is the uh, dividing line of operations. They take everything north of 238, we take everything south of 238, and we share the resources, we share the angst, we share the joys, and we are here. And I think this is going to go on for a long time. And we we really have a lot of work to do in terms of available food, in terms of helping out the community. And right now, the community is hurting, and we are doing the best we can. And that's all I can say. Thank you. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. I think that leaves it to Larissa. Do you want to cover the community norms again, just to go over that quickly before we head into the breakout rooms?
Sure. Do you have them on a slide?
Yeah, there's 2 slides. I will just share that now. There you go.
So these are some community norms we thought were important to bring up and make sure that we adhere to as a collective in the work that we do. And some of the work that we do at All In, we do take a look at the norms that we have within our own staff, and we want to make sure that these norms still hold true, as well as if there are any other norms that we'd like to add. And so I want to give space for that opportunity, and I'll just go through some of these norms here. And you can see them. Systematic racism exists in Alameda County. Food insecurity and economic and environmental injustices exist in Alameda County. Addressing food insecurity and systemic injustices is not only possible, but doing so can build equity, wellness, sustainability, and community resilience. Our current food system facilitates competition and siloed approaches. There are effective programs and organizations working outside of and within the county system that are critical to addressing food system transformation. Reimagining our government systems so that racism, food insecurity, and economic and environmental injustice are no longer perpetuated takes dedicated and collaborative effort. Collaborative effort works when we, 1, give space and take space, encouraging full participation of all members. Follow through on commitments, arrive prepared. Have 1 speaker at a time. Debate ideas, not personalities. Consider, acknowledge, and value all perspectives. Honor honesty. Listen to, understand, and give space and grace for people to provide clarity. Share resources and accountability. Minimize duplication of effort. Acknowledge that we wear different hats and that there are power dynamics we bring and need to navigate equitably. Have grace for others and offer forgiveness freely. And finally, coming with a learning mindset. Are there, before we switch, I do want to check to see if folks are still in agreement with these, and if not, if there are any changes, anything to add, anything to take away, and give a moment for that. Julio, thank you for the thumbs up. some thumbs, maybe little nods. Cesar with the fist. All right, I think we are good. Okay, thank you all. And again, as we meet, we'll continue to go through these, and as they need to be refined, we deeply appreciate your engagement and participation in refining these norms. Thank you.
Thank you, Larissa, and thank you, Patty. I really appreciate you sharing some of the history of where you've come from and all of the how you've adapted under some very strange circumstances. I know we're all doing that during these times, and I think it's great to hear how other people have innovated in order to meet the challenges of this time. And that's something we have these community shares because we want to lift up what you folks are all doing in the community and celebrate what amazing things you have been able to accomplish despite having some pretty significant challenges. And we would invite, if you have a really cool story you want to tell, something new and innovative that you want to share that you think would help other people within this group kind of do their work better, please let me know. We would be happy to have you share within some future meeting. We are going to be going into our breakout room shortly. I did also want to just frame our discussion around, again, the whole concept of this circular food economy, which is kind of what is driving our work. And just to level set a little bit about how we want to think about working together across all of these various areas in a way that helps to do our work, all of our work better and support one another to meet some of the challenges that we have. And so I just wanted to quickly sort of talk through the areas that we see as a sort of the components of the circular food economy. We sort of organize it around the produce, aggregate, process, distribute, and recover. And that kind of covers things from sustainable farming to food entrepreneurs to food as medicine clinics, living wage jobs, climate goals, emergency food aid, and everything in between. Drivers, vans, pharmacists, banks, regenerative agriculture, all of that coming together. So as you go into your breakout rooms, I would love for you to keep all of these components in mind. Think about how you connect to them all, what kind of support you could ask for from some of these other aspects to help do your work better, or what ways your particular group could support some of the work that's happening in these other areas as well. And so with that, I'm going to just remind you all, we're going to meet with these 6 groups coming up. If you haven't yet, please change your name here in Zoom. You should just be able to go to like the top little 3 dots and go rename, and then put a number that for the group that you would like to go into. If you're not quite sure which group you want to go into, that's okay. You can try one group this time and go in a different group next time. That none of these are set, or you can try one for part of this meeting and then pop out and go to a different one if you think there's another one that would be better suited for. I did also want to point out that we are trying to make this as community driven as possible. So we have some folks who have stepped up to facilitate these meetings, which we love. And some people who had hoped to facilitate these meetings from the community were not able to do so this month. But if that's something you would like to do, if you feel like you would like to lead one of these discussions, that doesn't necessarily have to be a long-term commitment. At this point, we're doing a lot of storming and norming and figuring things out as we go along. And so we are happy to try things out and change things as we go, but we would welcome other people to take some leadership in this space. We don't need it to be dominated by county people as it is right now. So feel free to let me know, contact me by email or chat with me here if you would like to do something like that in the future. Okay, so I think with that, we are ready to go into breakout rooms unless anybody has any questions before we do that. No? Okay, great. So I think Lila, if you could send us all to our rooms, we will take about an hour to do this. Last time we gave everybody, I think, about 45 minutes, and they said it wasn't quite enough time. So we thought we would make this time longer. Hopefully everybody can stay for that period of time, and then come back and, oh, right, I forgot to say, come back and be prepared to share one area you think your group could work better together at, like one sort of goal, if you can get there. It may take a couple of meetings to get there, but work toward that goal, and one need that maybe another area of the circular food economy could help you with. So good luck, thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing what you all have to say.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Peace and good afternoon. How's everybody?
Hey, I can't tell if this is our group or if we're being moved to another group. Hi, Aaron.
Oh, I thought it was our group.
Maybe, but I actually think it might not be because I'm not seeing some of the people who were in this group last time. So Zoom should just
Hillary.
wait one more minute. Yeah.
How do I change my name?
To not, you don't want to be Dave Brown anymore?
No, I got to put the number in front of it, I guess. So
Oh.
I thought they would know where to put me because I'm facilitating, but they haven't done it yet. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't done that either. Maybe that's why. You should go to participants. I'll do the same thing right now. And then you'll see yourself and you should be able to click.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Let's see. Rename.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what we're supposed to do.
I was
Good
invited
call.
to group 1 because that's what I had originally thought of being in. But I think this is a group that hasn't been connected to their groups. I want to.
Oye, Julia, ¿cómo has estado, pues?
What's up? Gusto verte.
Man, todo tranquilo, man. Hey, I just got on. What number am I supposed to be in?
6.
Oh, okay. I'm in 6.
6?
I'm just choosing for you because that's my group.
Go. Okay. So you got to put your number in front of your name and then.
Yep.
I guess that's what's happening. How's your family, Julio?
We're doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got sick, but we're recovering and doing better now.
Oh, man. I'm sorry about that, bro.
Yeah. Pero además de eso, todo bien, thankfully. How about yours?
Todo bien, man. Trabajando duro, como siempre, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to hook up sometime, man. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call or something.
For sure. That'll be really nice.
All right, bro. We're gonna join 6 now. I'll see you.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Switching out to there. I think Icono is connecting us. I switched to the 6 last minute. My bad.
Hi, I'm Lila. I'm doing the breakout rooms. Which
Lila.
room would you like to be in, or are you?
Yeah, I was 1 and then I switched to 6 as we were.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, give me
Yeah.
a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, move to 6. Okay, you should be good now. Heather or Paul, do you have a preference for the group that you'd like to be in? Or Eliza?
Hey, peace. How you doing? This is Dean. I think I'm actually supposed to be facilitating. But I also I needed to hop off at 1:30, so I don't even know if it makes sense for me to go in for 9 minutes at this point. But I mean, I'm willing to go in and listen. I'm pretty sure they've already started by now.
Okay, which group are you? Produce, aggregate process, distribution, recovery, policies, workforce?
They had me in policy, even though I really want to hear what's going on in number 1. But yeah, my name was on policy.
Okay. Well, if you want to hear what's going on in number 1, I can put you there.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Okay, I'll move you there. Great. Okay, you should be all set now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth or Paul, do you have a preference for a group that you'd like to be in?
Can you repeat the groups? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. If you scroll up in the chat, Mary Ruth also posted them, but number 1 is produce. Number 2 is aggregate and process. Number 3 is distribute. Number 4 is, food recovery. Number 5 is full circle policies, and number 6 is full circle workforce.
Elizabeth, were you in the aggregate one?
I was in the food recovery.
Okay, cool. Can I go to the food recovery, the aggregate one? I'm sorry.
And
Sure.
I'll go to food recovery.
Okay, so Paul is going to Paul's going to aggregate,
Yes.
correct? And then Elizabeth, you're going to food recovery.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, yep, you should be all set. Is there anybody else left who has not yet been assigned a group? Heather, are you there?
Lila?
Yeah, hello. Would
Hi,
you
it's no, I'm just taking notes. So I don't need to be in a specific group.
Okay, wonderful. Then we'll just hang out. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. No worries. Thank you.
Hi, sorry. Can I jump onto the Farmers Collective breakout group?
Sure. Yeah, I can move you.
Awesome, thank you.
The farmers one is produce, right? That would make sense.
I think it's group.
There's-
It was group 1 last time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's produce. Okay.
Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you.
1, 2. Yeah, of course. Hi, did you just join?
Hi. Yay. Well, I had to disconnect and I'd like to be put back into 4, please.
Perfect, no problem.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, there you go.
Right.
Hi, Florence. Is there a group that you would like to be added to?
I'm not sure. I was just told to come on to the Zoom.
Okay, no worries. I can
I'll just
give you a
hang out.
breakdown
Okay.
of the groups. So there's group number 1 is produce. So let me find a better description. Group number 1 is, produce, so farmer collective, food producer contracts. Group 2 is aggregate and process, so food entrepreneur collective and kitchen space. Group 3 is distribution, so that would be food aid distribution, and that includes COVID and the homeless population. Group 4 is food recovery. Group 5 is the full circle policies. And then group 6 is full circle workforce. Is there one of those that sounds most fitting?
I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, I believe. Maybe not 6, because if I don't include 5, then I'm not part of 6. But I'm 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, you can only choose one to be in.
Right. I'm not sure which one would be most appropriate.
Sure.
I have my own kitchen. I do provide emergency food for the city of Oakland. And we do food recovery.
Okay, I see. You're in many
Yeah.
piles. Well, why don't I put you in one, and then if it doesn't feel right, you can sign out and I can put you in another.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Should we start with let me see the groups. Yes, I'll add you to recovery for now, and then we can always swap.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, if there's anybody there, can I please get back into group 1?
Hi, yes, I can put you back into group 1. We're gonna come back. You know what? We're actually gonna come out of our breakout rooms in about 1 minute, but I'll put you back in there for a minute.
Hey all, welcome back. Everybody's coming back in. Do we have all the groups back? Does it look like everybody's here? I think so, based on the numbers. I think everybody's here. Lila, do you know, are you able to see whether everybody's back? Is Lila back? Oh, there you
Here, I will double check.
Looks like it. Okay, so according to our agenda, we are going to do some reporting back from all of the various groups, and I am happy to lead that discussion. I hope your conversations were productive and inspiring. Again, our goal is to hopefully have the groups talk about one or multiple things they're going to do together, and then how or who's going to do that and how they're going to get that done next. So we can go in order, or if there's anybody who is like really wants to share first, feel free to raise your hand. No? Okay. So maybe we can have someone from the Farm Collective report back now. Troy, Sasha, do you know who from your group was going to report back? Is that you guys?
Does somebody want to report back, or I can do it?
Looks like you've been nominated.
Basically, our report back, we went down a bit of a rabbit hole on the Ardenwood situation about those challenges of us not getting it, what would help us get it, and what would help us secure other land and other farmers if we didn't get it, ideally. Another report back is that we are targeting with Dig Deep Farm specifically with we know a lot of the questions, even for the people who do fill out the surveys or respond back after these meetings, is their concerns about resources, their concerns about just planting. Like sometimes we've heard things that people feel like it's going to be really a lot of bureaucracy to getting to growing, getting to getting the food to people and receiving compensation for it. You know, like a lot of questions are like, where is that at? Like, where's the plan? What's the plan? And people are hesitant, even if they are growing, to like say, you know what, I can give this amount of produce to this and try this out. They might want to still just fill their CSA boxes instead of, you know, veering into this circular food economy mission. And so we just went around and around on those type of things, like how could that happen? Who is our target farmer, and who is our target consumer? And we, you know, I mean, we kind of said that in previous meetings that we hope it's large corporations. We hope it's Alameda County institutions and stuff like that. And so we have to get our growing capacity up to be able to meet that demand when it comes. And I kept reiterating personally that, and for Dig Deep Farm, that we see in the challenge of finding growers, interested growers, and what is going to be the resources to, if they commit, or to get them to commit to growing. Like how do we support them? And we know that one of the things is going to be subsidizing, like we're talking about over here. How do we subsidize just like big farms get subsidized? And that's pretty much our challenge and kind of where we ended it off at.
Okay, great. So it sounds like you talked a lot about organizational structure and how to work together as a group, and how to address some of the pricing challenges that are facing farmers. It's great. Okay, that's number one. Number two was the Food Entrepreneur Collective, which is Dave's group. I don't know, Dave, do you know who is going to report back?
I'm reporting back.
Okay.
So we talked quite a bit about identifying various unused spaces that could be used for commercial kitchens. And one of the things that was brought up is that there are a lot of empty storefronts that have commercial kitchens in them, that we could potentially go and talk with the property owners and see if there is a way for us to use that for business incubation, or for folks to go ahead and try making things. And then we also talked a little bit about some models that we saw in other states and other parts of our state, where warehouse spaces were used and converted into a bunch of little tiny micro commercial kitchens. Identifying funding to do that is a challenge, but so I think we're probably going to start with the first idea.
Okay, great. And I know there's some work that we're also going to be trying to do some landscape mapping to hopefully identify places like that to assist food entrepreneurs with some commercial kitchen space. So that's great. Thank you for doing that and for having that conversation. Okay, food aid distribution. Group number 3.
Hi, I can talk about that. Katie O'Feish from Fair Resources and Fair Community Kitchen. Hi, everyone. We must have had like a mind meld with group number 2, because we talked a bunch about kind of the general concept of repurposing. We focused less on kitchens, although I agree there's a lot of kitchens out there. We focused on 2 things. We focused on kind of food supply overlapping with land, and supply partners, but also making land available for kind of more urban agriculture in a way that can kind of add up for families and communities, as opposed to kind of top down and being beholden to other suppliers and distributors. And we also discussed that same idea of repurposing with respect to storage, both kind of dry storage and pantry storage and also cold storage. And one, I think an outcome we have from that is that two members of our team, one of whom has a successful partnership in Berkeley and others who are looking for something similar in Oakland, are going to connect to see if they can share almost in an informal case study format how that partnership came about and whether it's a model we could apply and pursue in Oakland.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's great. And I love that there's this mind meld happening. Great. Sorry, go ahead. Did you have something else to add?
Nope, that was all.
Okay. All right. Great. Group number 4, food recovery.
Hi, I can talk about what our
Okay.
group discussed. So yeah, this is our second meeting. It's still challenging to come up with a concrete goal. There's so much to catch up on, but what we are appreciative of is just having the space to keep meeting and have these open discussions to share ideas and challenges, because a lot of us had, contact information for people within our group and like, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you for so long, but have not gotten around to it. But what better way to connect as a group and kind of get that resource sharing and group thinking together. But some of the topics we were talking about and that we'll probably continue to talk about is for food recovery and food donation, just trying to think about ways to make it sustainable. We talked a lot, spent some time talking about fee for service models. Are they possible? Is it possible to get a business to pay for food recovery just like they do for recycling and composting? Because it should be something that businesses pay for if it's not something they're willing to reduce. How to, also just how do we get that feedback too from businesses as well? We spent some time just talking about that competition between organizations and then trying to figure out how do we, there are the pockets of groups that are connected and feeling very connected. We're sure that there are also some maybe potentially operating on their own. How do we connect them potentially by doing some community mapping in that sense too, like who's out there, what are the community hubs, especially noticing after as part of COVID responses, this emergence of community hubs really being spaces where, families can go and get multiple resources in addition to food. So kind of thinking about how to continue to build on those models in the future. I'll stop there.
Great. Sounds like you guys made some good connections, which is one of the main goals of this group. So that's very exciting. Thank you. Ooh, policies, that's me. So where did I put my report? Hold on. Please hold. Nope, that's not it.
It's in chat too.
You can chat too?
No, it's in chat too if you need it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, we're good. So we shared a lot of different ideas about different bills that are already happening and discussed some areas where we need to do a little bit more research on status and updates about existing legislation to find out where we can do some advocacy. And we have some specific things around the good food purchasing policy, SB 1383, which is for food recovery, AB 551, which is for land for farming and for other purposes. And then also we identified obstacles and opportunities related to access to CalFresh, and in particular to streamlining the process to get people signed up for various food assistance programs so that they don't have to go to multiple places. So we're going to look at doing a little bit more research on that. We also talked a lot about live work community services and district opportunities that are currently under development, and need to come back to the group with a little bit more information on the current state of things and where we can be involved in those programs. So a bunch of us have some marching orders to get some information and come back to the group with some updates, and then we will prioritize our list and think about where we can go next. So it was a very productive meeting. And then finally we have, who is our last group? Workforce.
So I'm wondering if anybody from our group would like to share out besides me. I'm looking at you, Kate, on my screen. You were the last one talking and you got cut off. I'm just putting it out there. No?
Okay, sure. And I'll just let people know that we renamed or added it to our name to be workforce and training, because you don't get a workforce without education and training. So we talked about a number of items and just had a really robust conversation and got into some interesting leads. And at the end, realized we had 20 seconds left. So a few of our action items are around thinking about how we can really build more jobs in the communities that need the jobs and that are addressing the community needs, specifically around some of our charity work and rethinking that to be paid, dignified work. Another of our action items, this was really, we're going to pass it to you, policy group, was around making sure that somehow that there is a policy and a mandate at the county level that groups that we contract with around food service, food production, food procurement are paying their workers living wages, and that if they don't, we just won't continue to work with them. An example of Revolution Foods was given as not a good option for that. And then last, we really kind of talked a lot about some of the work that we're doing at the County Office of Education with the Strong Workforce Program and how we can link districts, schools, and really other organizations that are working in training and education with industry and jobs. And one of the tools that I offered to train folks on is using this tool called Elena, which is part of Earn and Learn. It's an online kind of data tool set, database where industry partners and individuals willing to offer either internships, job shadow, things like that, can connect with folks in education who have students and people interested in wanting those opportunities. Did I miss any key points, Hillary, since you
did a great job.
Apologies for the noise here.
You did a great job. Thank you for the recap. And there are lots of copious notes here that have additional potential action items within them. So, but I think this is a good place to stop.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all for such great conversations and for putting in the time to have these discussions with us. I know that there's a lot, and we're all sort of coming from a lot of different perspectives and bring a lot to it. But I think that I'm really hoping that these meetings are going to be places of inspiration and breeding grounds for new opportunities to grow out of the work that we're doing together. So thank you. I will make available the notes from all the groups and circulate that around, and then look forward to having you folks all come back in a month. And speaking of which, I will, I'm gonna just share my screen briefly here. Hold on one second while I get myself organized. There we go. We have a couple other discussion points, but before we get to that, I just wanted to say, in terms of the next meeting, I did send out an invitation this morning for the next meetings. We had done a survey to ask people when they wanted to have regular meetings, and it looked like the best option overall, there were a couple of best options, but we went with the fourth Wednesday of every month at 10:30 a.m. And so I've sent out an invitation that should be a recurring invitation in people's inboxes. If you did not get it, because I've been having some trouble with Outlook, please quickly check your email. And if you didn't get it, put your email in the chat box and I will find a way to get it to you because I want to make sure it actually arrives in people's inboxes. But the next meeting will be February 24th at 10:30 a.m. And then I also wanted to do just a couple of quick updates to let you know our good food purchasing policy went to the health committee, the county health committee this past week. Was it this week? I think it was this week. Yes, it was this week. And it was well received and should be now proceeding to the full board for approval. We're hoping within the next month or two. And after that, we're going to be doing the baseline assessments with the biggest budgets in the county. And then out of that, we're hoping there's going to be some goals for shifting the food purchases from these big county agencies to be supporting a lot of the work that we're trying to do within this circular food economy. So that's going forward. There was an extension of the funding for the food aid. If you're not aware of that and you need more information, let us know. And then also wanted to talk quickly about the, we had a survey with everybody and asked what you thought of our logo options. And so drum roll, this was the consensus logo, and it's going to be something that we're going to use on a new website and a bunch of the other stuff that we're doing in terms of food distribution, and eventually an app that will be like the DoorDash that's affordable for people. And so hopefully you love the logo as much as we do. We thank you so much for your input. We really value having you guys tell us what you think so that we can choose things that the community thinks are great options. And the logo is certainly going to be an important element of our branding and what we're doing as a group together. And next project is the tagline, which you guys should have received a survey about. So we're still trying to get a few more responses to that before we pick that. But we're super excited about finalizing the tagline, and then we're going to be working on the website and have a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be rolling out soon as well. And so just to go back to the announcements, I just wanted to say again, if you are interested in facilitating a group, or we are going to be having some discussions in the future about governance. If you want to be involved in those discussions, let me know. Dave is going to be talking quickly soon about vision and mission. If you would like to be involved in deeper discussions outside of the setting about that, let me know. And then also if you want to have a community share, we would love to have you do that. And I want to just quickly open the floor to see if there are any other announcements that people want to share with the group briefly. If not, it's no problem, but I did want to make the space available. I am hearing none. Okay, so then in our agenda, I believe next we are going to be having an update on the Farmer Collective from Troy and Sasha. And they already chatted a bit, but we wanted to give them some space to talk about the group that they're forming with farmers and how that's going. And so hopefully you're still here. Yeah, I see Sasha.
Yep, it's pretty much of the same. In our group, we had Yolanda from Pollinate Farm and Garden, Dig Deep Farms. We had reached out to her to specifically, one of our updates is we see, as I said, like, how do we get more growers? How do we get them interested? And so sometime at Dig Deep Farms, with our growing capacity, growing demand for produce during period, and then especially during COVID, it's went up astronomically, the demand for produce and things like that. We sometimes procure produce to put in the food as medicine bags. So we're going to start, when we need to do that, we're going to start targeting these folks that we're trying to add to the circular food economy. And one of the first people that's interested in putting her toes in the water is Yolanda from Pollinate Farm and Garden. And we're going to try to support her in expanding her quarter to a half acre lot where she already grows a lot of food for her family, friends, and neighbors. And she's partnering with some other people to add vegetables to their CSA boxes. We're going to try to get her to be able to get to a capacity to contribute to our food as medicine program. And between this month, we're going to be targeting more farmers, reaching out to more farmers to get them at least into this food as medicine program with us, and then start seeing if we can get into these bigger institutions, Alameda County institutions. But we're just on a capacity building for this demand that we know we can tap into in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you for that highlight of one of our new farm partners. And yeah, the food is medicine clinics are going to be expanding with the new one coming online very shortly. And so the demand for local sustainable produce is going to be going up. Stephen, Dr. Chen, do you want to say anything about that?
Sure, just to remind folks, we're at 3 clinics now within this network of FQHC clinics that are serving our Alameda County. So the first one is Tiburcio, started last January. So we're a year in. Native American Health Center in September. And we just had a successful launch this morning with Lifelong at the Ashby site. So we have 3 dedicated clinics. Hayward Wellness is a kind of pilot site that's been going on for a while. We are amidst conversations about the next set of clinics, the cadence around when these clinics come on, how many more clinics we are going to move on, all of that. But we're really excited to be growing this in partnership with everyone here. And the demand for food is going up, just like Troy says. We are writing prescriptions every day. And I'm just going to close my comments with just a patient success story that I shared in our group, because I think it's really helpful to know what are we doing at the end of the day, at least with food as medicine. I had a 65-year-old Latinx woman who has long-term diabetes, has been on insulin injections for her diabetes for 15 years, high doses of insulin. And basically after about 4 months in our program, Food is Medicine, 4 to 5 months, we went from 72 units a day down to 0 off insulin, and her hemoglobin A1C, her measure of her diabetes, got better. And she was no longer getting too low sugars because she was injecting too much insulin before, because of the work that we're doing. That's only one story. We have so many stories to share, kind of from a patient perspective. But sometimes these stories are really helpful to hear, just so we know why we're doing this work. So thank you all.
That's awesome. Snaps to that, Stephen. And I know that there are other food as medicine programs within the community, and the farmers within this group would love to chat with them and be able to provide the sustainable produce that they're growing as well. So do get in touch with us if that's something you're interested in. And if you're a farmer, please do let us know. We want to grow this collective so we can continue to meet the demand and have the impact that Dr. Chen was talking about. Any other announcements before we move into the last little bit of this meeting? No? Okay. So I'm going to hand it over to Dave Brown, who is Chief of Staff for Supervisor Chan. He's going to just chat a little bit about our vision and mission, and I will share my screen for that as well. Here we go.
Mary Ruth, can you make that a little bit bigger?
I can. Does that work?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to just focus on vision and mission for now. And just so you know, I mean, the folks that kind of put All In Eats together, which included several different agencies, we had put a draft mission and vision together. We have tweaked it since we've gotten started based on feedback that we've heard from the group. So I'll start out with vision, and I'll show you kind of a little bit of tweaking that we have done. So the vision, as you know, is the world we hope to create. And the vision draft that we have, and these are drafts, a healthy, nourished Alameda County that benefits from a local sovereign food economy. The word sovereign, the idea of a food sovereignty, not something I was familiar with, came up several times in our first meeting. And so I ran to my computer, did a search on the definition, and realized that that's really what we are about and we should be about. And let's make sure we put it in there. And for those that are not aware, because I wasn't, food sovereignty, at least one definition of it, is a food system in which the people who produce, distribute, and consume food also control the mechanisms and policies of food production and distribution. And we're clearly about that. So that was a tweak we made, and it was definitely for the better. So that's the vision. The mission, and by the way, for today, we're just going to put these out there and not spend a lot of time with conversation, but just so you can take it back, think about it. We'll email you. You can make some feedback, but we figured we don't have a lot of time to get into this in depth. So the mission is basically what we do and how we do it. To provide Alameda County residents with healthy, affordable food that is sourced from local farms, recovered food, and small food vendors, and delivered through healthcare settings, home deliveries, community organization, and food hubs to promote equity and sustainability with the self-regenerating circular food system, which is kind of a mouthful. But we felt like this really did say, what we do and how we do it. You might think otherwise. You might think there should be some things in there that are not, or maybe deleting some things that are already written down in this draft. So think about it. I don't want to open it up for conversation because I know once we do, it wouldn't be fair just to take one or two comments. But I want to get it out there this week. That way, when we talk about it the next meeting, people have had a chance to think about it. So any quick questions rather than comments? Any quick questions before we move on? Okay, so it sounds like you guys know vision and mission statements pretty well. So hopefully we got it right. If not, we're certainly open to tweaking it. We don't want to spend a lot of time doing vision and mission. We've been in organizations, all of us have been, or sometimes you spend a lot of time doing that. I think we kind of all have the idea of what we're trying to do. We just need to have it on paper and agree to it. So think about any edits you might want. The last thing is, just as a wrap up, I just say for me personally, because I've been involved with All In since we had our first meetings in 2014, and we had a lot of folks from the food justice community that were part of those, and they were some of the most active individuals. And we put together a plan in 2015 that we were looking to implement. And now in the year 2021, a lot of those ideas are now coming to fruition. And we've expanded the number of folks that are part of this team. And I do believe we are a team. And I know that together we're going to get a lot accomplished. So today was another great meeting towards that goal of creating a local sovereign food economy. And I want to say thank you again for joining us. Please join us at the next meeting in February and let your friends know that we're here and we want them to be involved. All right, thanks.
All right, everyone, thank you. I think that wraps everything up. Again, reminder, February 24th, as Dave said, that's our next meeting. If you didn't get the invitation, email me and let me know. And we look forward to seeing everybody then, and happy January, February.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.